Hello and good evening, everyone. Okay. Thank you so much for registering to attend our third session of, of our My Voice Count series titled CalKIDS. And this CalKIDS Town Hall is going to highlight ways to get free money for college. CalKIDS gives your child a real chance for a bright future. And so with that being said, it is important to note that CalKIDS, it is a brand new program from the state of California that provides up to $1,500 in free money for college for free money for college to eligible public school students. CalKIDS can help families boost their children's college savings and also increase access to higher education. We wanted to host this particular town hall to ensure that you as parents, family members, and also community members were aware of this particular program that was launched just last year, in the hopes of you not missing out on the opportunity to have money not only for your younger children, but also meaning the newborns, but also to help jumpstart any type of college and also career savings for your other children as well. My name is Dr. Lachey Sharp Collins, and I am the coordinator for this particular series. I am actually the community engagement specialist for the San Diego County Office of Education. Once again, I would like to welcome you to our third session of our My Voice Count series titled Cal Kids. And at this time, we will have the presentation done by Noah and also Diane, who are a part of the Cal Kids team, who will be sure to inform you all of this important information. Noah?
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Lachey Sharp Collins, for inviting me to talk with you all today about this great program. And I also want to give a big thank you to the superintendent of schools in San Diego County for his support of this program since it launched in the summer of 2022. And thank you all for being here tonight to talk a little bit about college savings on a Wednesday evening. So by way of background, I live in Sacramento and I work for a very small state agency called the Scholar Share Investment Board. We're a staff of about 13, I think we're now 14 people actually, governed by a board that State Treasurer Fiona Ma serves as the chair of. And our agency has been around for almost 25 years, designed to help families save for college in different tax advantage ways. And we were charged a couple of years ago with creating this new program called CalKIDS, really designed to help as many families as possible begin thinking about college savings, including with some free money attached to it. So I hope that throughout this conversation, you learn a little bit more about what this program is. Two, maybe talk to some friends of yours in your communities that you think might be eligible for it as well. And then three, develop a plan for saving on your own as well. So what I'd like you to do at the start of this presentation is if you have a pen and paper handy, just jot down a few notes of how are you already thinking about paying for higher education. If you don't have a pen and paper, make some mental notes. But it's something that I want you to start thinking about throughout this presentation, as well as afterwards, as the San Diego County Office of Education really works to help families think beyond the K-12 sphere and how you can start achieving your aspirations beyond high school. So with that, let's get started and talk a little bit about this program. So for today, what we're going to do is we're going to introduce you to what the CalKIDS program is. We're going to talk a little bit about eligibility for this program, since not everyone is eligible. We're going to talk about the awards that are associated with this program, how to go about actually claiming your funds if you are eligible, how to request a distribution for the program when you're able to and ready to go to college or maybe a career training program, different resources that may be out there, and then also try and answer a few frequently asked questions that we get about this program. So with that, let's start by introducing you to what CalKIDS is. So what do we know about college savings? There's been a lot of research that's been done that suggested that children with as little as $500 or even less of savings dedicated in their name for higher education are going to be more likely to attend college or some form of post-secondary education than students that didn't have savings whatsoever. And so the idea with CalKIDS is, how do we give students a starting point to at least think about saving for college? And hopefully then we'll be on a path towards building assets and hopefully, increase the number of students attending higher education in general, especially students who are underrepresented and come from lower income families that need additional support. So that's when the state said, let's dive into CalKIDS. I also do want to mention, Lachey mentioned that my colleague Diane is on the call. She is assisting with answering questions in the chat. But if you do have a question, I would just wait until the end to ask it, as your question might be answered throughout the course of this presentation. But going back, so CalKIDS, this is something that the state of California said, we're going to give students up to $1,500 for in order to have that starting point in paying for higher education. And so there's two different populations for this program, newborns and low-income students. For the purpose of this presentation, I'm going to dive more into the student side, but you will hear a little bit about the newborns as well. And so in the program's first year, we created accounts for 3.5 million low-income students already that were part of the program, and about 375,000 newborns that were born in the state each year. That's a lot of funding that the state is investing directly to these families, almost $2 billion worth, because the state is saying, we want you to go to college, or we want you to go to a career training program. And this is a path to at least start thinking about how you can get there. So first, let's talk about eligibility. Again, two paths, newborns and students. For newborns, it's very clear cut. Every child born in California on or after July 1st of 2022, regardless of the family's income status, is eligible for the program. What happens is we get information about this child from the Department of Public Health about 90 days after the child is born. So let's say you're a family that is expecting a newborn, or you just had one, or you know of someone that is having a baby. If they were born in California, they were eligible for the program. Crystal clear, born in California after July 1st of 2022. Now, a little bit more relevant for you all on this call is the student side. And there's a little bit of nuance to this, and so I ask that you bear with me here. For eligibility, it's not a crystal clear income limit. It's based on something called the local control funding formula. It's a little wonky here, but generally what we're talking about is students who might have received free meals through the National School Lunch Program, or if the family submitted an alternative household income form, or if the family participates in programs like CalFresh, CalWorks, a food distribution program on an Indian reservation, or Medi-Cal. If the student was identified as having an English learner status, or also if they were considered migratory, homeless, or foster. And so what happens is we get information directly from the State Department of Education. And so we are not able to add people into the program. What happens is the school sent information to the Department of Education based on this criteria called LCFF. And from that, the state gives us the information to create these accounts. And so if you leave today's presentation and find out that you're not eligible, unfortunately, there's not a way right now to add you into the program. But I do want you to know that there could be other resources available to you to start thinking about college savings. And I want to talk to you about that towards the end. But for students diving a little bit deeper, we've talked about kind of that criteria of what's considered lower income. Now, who are those kids that we grab into the program? So the idea is, in the program's first year, we created about 3.5 million accounts specifically for kids who are in public school in first through 12th grade 2 academic years ago who fit that criteria. And they had to have been on school on a very specific day and time called the Fall Census Day, which happens on the first Wednesday in October. And the idea with that Fall Census Day is that the schools collect a tally of their student date so that the state can say, okay, here are the students that are enrolled at this point in time. So if you think about it in theory, those first through 12th graders then are now third graders through college sophomores because we're in the 23-24 academic year. So again, if they were first graders through 12th graders 2 years ago, they might be eligible for this program. But then the idea is in ongoing years, we continue adding low income first graders, but there's a little asterisk here. Please note that if you are a parent of a first grader right now, please wait until I'd say the summertime to actually check the child's eligibility, because we have to wait until spring summertime for the Department of Education to give us the information on who these first graders are. So again, the group that we're looking at now that's eligible for this program would be in second graders through college sophomores. And if you have a child in first grade, again, please just wait until the summer or perhaps even the early fall to check if your child's eligibility. And so let's talk about checking eligibility. There's a few simple steps towards that. The first is we had sent notification letters to all eligible participants. You might have received one in the last year. The letter, this is actually an updated version of the letter, but it looks something like this. And the idea is we're telling you, hey, this is a new program from the state of California, and you are eligible. And all you need to do is enter, a few pieces of information in order to go in and see your account. Again, this is a new program. There's a lot of people that we've talked to who did receive the letter, but they put it aside because maybe they didn't think that this was a legitimate program, which is also why we're so grateful for the San Diego County Office of Education for bringing us here to do this presentation for you all, because this program is out there and we want to make sure that families are aware of it. But if you didn't get this letter, what you can do is actually go onto our website, and we have what's called our eligibility tool. Our website is super straightforward. It's calkids.org. Again, CalKIDS, the name of our program.org. And if you scroll down on the homepage, you'll see this little eligibility tool in this orange box here. From there, what you can do is it'll take you to either a newborn or a student section. For the students, you'll just have to scroll down a little, and you'll enter something called the statewide student identifier. Now, the statewide student identifier is a 10-digit number that's specific to the public school student. And if the student goes from one school district to another school district, that SSID number stays with them. And so from talking with Dr. Sharp Collins, it sounds like the districts have different ways of making accessible the SSIDs to you and your students. So after this presentation, if you don't know where your SSID is, I recommend reaching out to your school and asking, how can you find your child's SSID? Again, it's a 10-digit identifier. So we've talked a little bit about eligibility. Now let's go into the program awards. So for students, we give you all $500. And if the student was identified as a foster youth or homeless, we give them another $500. I'm focusing mainly on the students here, given the nature of the audience, but I'll just quickly note that newborns actually, can get up to $175 as well. And the idea is over time, as we keep adding first graders into the program, if the newborn was identified as low income, we give that child another $500 on top of what they already got when they were born. So again, for some of you in the audience, you might have $500 sitting there that's growing. and has the potential to be used for higher education when you're ready for it. And for the very small population, and I must say too, frankly, unfortunate population that was identified in all three of these categories, we give up to $1,500 actually. So how do you go about actually claiming your account? There's a few pieces of information that you need, and let's go step by step. First, you're going to visit the calkids.org. And for students, what you need is the following. I was just talking a moment ago about that statewide student identifier, SSID. Again, if you don't know where your SSID is, ask your school. Just say, hey, I want to sign up for the CalKIDS program and I want to check my eligibility for it. Can you give me the SSID? Some school districts actually put the SSID on a parent or a student portal or a report card, but find that information because you're going to need it in order to move forward. Or if you did get one of those letters, we put a unique code on it that you can use to register instead of the SSID. And then we also ask for the student's date of birth. And then I mentioned before about a very unique day called Fall Census Day. And that's the day where schools take a tally of all the students and give it to the state. And the state then gives it to us. And so this is a very specific day and time. And so again, for that 1st through 12th cohort, whatever county you went to school on on this October 6th date. And then if you were in 1st grade last year, so in 2nd grade this year, October 5th of 2022. And so most of you, I'm hoping it would be San Diego County, but let's say you moved around a little bit, whichever county it would have been on those applicable dates. So what I want to do now is play a short video on what's needed to register for the program. You will see, I'm trying to tailor this presentation a little bit more towards the student audience, but there is information in here for registering for newborns as well. And this video is available in both English and Spanish on our YouTube channel. So if you just go into YouTube and you type in CalKIDS, you'll see our channel and you'll be able to find this very video in both English and Spanish.
By registering now with CalKIDS, you are taking a big step towards saving for college or other forms of career training. This short video will guide you through the steps for setting up an account at calkids.org. It only takes a few minutes. Before we get started, it's a good idea to gather the information you'll need. For a newborn participant, you'll need the name of the county where your child's birth was registered and their date of birth. You'll also need either your child's local registration number, which you can find on their birth certificate here, or their unique CalKIDS code found on the letter we sent you or that you may receive in the mail soon. If you're registering for, or as a student, you'll need the name of the county where the student is enrolled in school, their date of birth, and a registration code, which is either a statewide student identifier, SSID, which you can get from the student's school, or the unique CalKIDS code found on the letter we sent you or that you may receive in the mail soon. Now would be a good time to pause the video and gather this information. And keep that registration code at your fingertips. You'll need it all shortly. All right, now that you have all the necessary information ready, let's get you registered on calkids.org. Welcome to the CalKIDS online portal. Here's where you'll need those details you gathered earlier. Begin by entering the county information. Remember, for newborns, you'll enter the county where their birth was registered. And for students, you'll enter the county where they attended school as of Fall Academic Census Day 2021, which was October 6, 2021. Next, enter the date of birth. And finally, the registration code. For newborns, that's the local registration number found on their birth certificate. For students, that's the statewide student identifier, SSID. Or, for both newborns and students, the unique code found in the CalKIDS letter we sent you or that you may receive in the mail soon. Now, click Register. You're doing great. Just one more step and you're all set. Create your user profile on this page. If you're setting this account up for yourself, select Child. If you're a parent or guardian setting an account up for your child, select Parent/Guardian. Then, fill in your information and select a password in the fields provided. Remember to make a note of your username and password for safekeeping. Click Create a User Profile and, well done! You have successfully registered your CalKIDS account. From this page, you can view the account balance, update your contact information, link this account to a ScholarShare 529 account, make a disbursement, or add another CalKIDS account. For step-by-step instructions on how to link this account to your ScholarShare 529 account, watch the How to Link Your Account video.
Awesome. So now you all know how to go on and claim your CalKIDS account. Again, first check eligibility on that eligibility tool, find the SSID to in order to do that, and then follow the simple instructions on actually claiming your account. Now I want to talk a little bit about actually using the funds. So the idea is that the accounts are created for you or your child. And over time, the money is invested and has the opportunity for growing, so that it's a little bit more, hopefully, than $500. We can't make any promises, but that's the hope for these funds. And then you can use it for actually paying for higher education expenses. So there's a few parameters for this. First, you need to be at least 17 to actually use the funds. You can be younger to look at them, and we want everyone to look at them as early as possible. But you have between ages 17 to 26 to actually use the funds. And what happens is you can send the funds to any FAFSA participating schools. So that could be a community college, a four-year institution, public, private, in-state, out-of-state, abroad even, vocational school, apprenticeship program, so long as the institution is considered accredited and receives FAFSA funding. And the idea is that everything is done online through our portal at calkids.org, and we actually don't ask for any taxpayer identification number in this process. So you might be asking, can undocumented students participate? And the short answer is yes. We do not ask for a social security number or or an individual taxpayer identification number, so long as we got their child's information from the Department of Education. We would have created an account for them, and we don't ask for taxpayer ID info in the distribution process to use the funds. And you can use all or a portion of the funds. And what happens is you go into your account and you say, I'm going to go to San Diego State or wherever else. And we send the funds directly to the school, and they treat it like they would treat any other outside scholarship. And so what could you use the funds for? Well, a variety of educational expenses, such as tuition and fees, books or required supplies, room and board costs, computer equipment. We just ask that you work with your school, whichever college or institution you might be going to process this check that we're going to be sending to them on your behalf as an award scholarship. So that concludes really the meat of the presentation, but I want to finish by talking about some resources and then answering a few common questions that we've received about the program. So first, for families, there's a few different things. Everything that I've talked about is on our website at calkids.org. We also have a YouTube page, as well as social media platforms like Instagram and Facebook, where you can see a lot of the content that we put out there around this program. I'm going to talk just very briefly about ScholarShare 529. You might have heard at the end of the registration video about linking a ScholarShare 529 account. So this program does not require you to contribute any money whatsoever, none. But if you want to continue saving on your own, there's another program that actually our state agency administers called ScholarShare 529. And the idea with this is you can create an account that grows where you put money in and it's invested and it grows tax deferred. And when you want to use the funds for higher education, you can use those funds tax free. And the idea with CalKIDS and ScholarShare of how they interact is you have the option of literally linking these two accounts together so that you can see the balances in one place. There is one little caveat though to this. In order to participate in ScholarShare 529, you do need either a social security number or an individual taxpayer ID, unlike CalKIDS, which you don't. But again, if you want to think about saving on your own, this is an option to do it, and we encourage you all to go to scholarshare529.com. But if you have additional questions, please reach out to us. We have a call center, and this number is listed on our website at the bottom of the page, and they're available from Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The call center is available in English and Spanish, as well as other languages too, through a language line if that's needed. And on our website, we have a Contact Us tab. Again, we're happy to answer questions, and especially if there's something that we're not able to answer during tonight's webinar, please reach out to us. And, let's say you're a community organization out there, or you're one of the school districts that want to do a little bit more on promoting this program. Please reach out as well. We want to work with you on delivering presentations just like this to the families that you serve. We're happy to do train the trainers presentations so that you can work with families more directly. And on our website, we have an online toolkit with flyers, newsletter content, social media that can all be used to share information about the program. And again, I really want to thank San Diego County Office of Education and being a great partner on taking us up on these opportunities to share this program and raising awareness in the San Diego community using the materials that we've created for you all. And again, feel free to reach out to us. So now what I'd like to do is answer a few common questions that we get about the program. So first, how can I quickly determine eligibility? So step by step, all you need to do is visit calkids.org. From there, we have a little basic section that says who is eligible for a CalKIDS account. You can also find it on the homepage if you just scroll down, and you'll see this eligibility tool. And from there, you'll put in one of two numbers. Again, thinking of you all more for the student audience, you would put in the statewide student identifier, the SSID. So again, if you're not familiar with the SSID, this is that 10-digit number that I keep stressing that you can find from your school. And then if you are a parent of a newborn in the audience, use what's called the local registration number, and you can find that on your birth certificate. We often get asked, will CalKIDS funds impact my ability to receive financial aid? And this is a great, important question. So these funds are processed like any other scholarship would be processed. And so what happens is when the college that you're going to receives a CalKIDS check, they simply factor it in with any other need-based aid that you may receive. And so if you're going out applying for other scholarships too, this would be treated the exact same way. So will I need to provide a social security number or individual taxpayer identification number? So again, for CalKIDS specifically, we do not require a taxpayer identification number. So again, this kind of leads to the question of, can undocumented students participate? And the short answer is yes. If we received their information from the Department of Education, we've already created an account for them, and they need that, again, SSID in order to claim their account. We also ask, can I add money to the CalKIDS account? And so again, this goes back to what I was talking about at the beginning. How are you thinking about saving for higher education? So families cannot add money directly to the CalKIDS account, but if they want to, or maybe if families are not eligible for CalKIDS, we want you to continue thinking about saving for higher education through other means. And so we at the state administer this other great program called ScholarShare 529. And again, the concept behind it is that you can invest money that grows tax deferred. And when you're ready to use the funds for higher education, that money is tax free. Again, you do need either a social security number or a taxpayer ID for scholarship. But if you want to think about saving on your own, in addition to the funds that are provided in the CalKIDS account, Scholarshare 529 is California's official college savings plan, and we encourage you all to take a look into that. And so with that, I again, really want to thank Dr. Lachey Sharp Collins for including us today to talk with you all. We hope that you found the presentation useful, informative, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. And so at this time, what I'm actually going to do is ask my colleague Diane to just spit out a few questions that she might have been receiving in the chat, or if there's anything that I can go over, now would be the time to do that.
Yes, we have one question that is asking for if their newborn qualifies for CalKIDS right now, would she get more money when she enters the first grade and still qualifies?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the idea is if the newborn is low income when they hit first grade, then we will give them the additional $500 in their account. So like they could have $175 in their newborn account, and then 6-7 years down the road, we put in more money if they were identified as low income. But newborns right now, it doesn't matter income status, and the account's already created for you.
We have another question that says, how do I add my child who was born in 2020?
So children born in 2020 are kind of in this donut hole right now. How the program was structured by state law is that we have newborns, a big batch of this first through 12th graders from 2 years ago, and then in ongoing years, we add first graders. And so for babies that were born before July 1st of 2022, you have to wait until the child is in first grade for us to create those accounts. But again, we don't want to stop you from starting to think about saving for college as early as possible. And that's where Scholarshare 529 can come in. And so if your child's not eligible for CalKIDS, we strongly encourage you to look at Scholarshare 529 as it's an important resource in helping families start to save for college.
We have another question that said, we received the letter that included some bonus funds. We didn't register. Is it too late to receive the bonus? So if you could please clarify the bonus incentives for the newborn again, and then if you can explain the student again.
Yeah, so we do have incentives specifically for the newborns, not the students for registering. The students were already giving you $500. But for the newborns, I didn't focus it in this presentation, thinking just audience of more of the student population. But for newborns, the idea is we seed every account with a small amount. So actually, now it's $100 for babies born after July 1st of 2023. Initially, it was $25 for babies born after July 1st of 2022. And the idea is we start with either that $25 or $100 amount. And then if the family goes on to literally just claim their account, we give them another $25. So then we're looking at $50 or $125. And then if the family continues to save on their own through Scholarshare 529 and literally link those two accounts together, we give them $75. Or excuse me, sorry, $50. So that would be $100 for the first cohort of babies, and then $175 for the second cohort of babies. So again, for the newborns, we offer incentives because they're starting with a smaller amount. For the students, we're already giving $500. So right now, just based on state law and funding, there's no incentives currently available for the students. But again, the incentive is there's $500 sitting there for you.
Thank you, Noah. That looks like the rest of the questions. If anybody has any additional questions, please feel free to contact our support team via our contact us form located on our website. Thank you.
So, well, again, thank you so much for being here tonight and taking the time on a Wednesday evening to learn a little bit more about a new state program and start thinking about higher education savings. And with that, again, thank you to the team at the San Diego County Office of Education for being a great partner in sharing this program and resource with families in your community. And I want to pass it back to Dr. Lachey Sharp Collins to close this out.
Once again, I would like to thank Noah and also Diane for this very fruitful dialogue in regards to the CalKIDS program, and also providing a little bit more information regarding our Scholarshare 529 program. Please note that this particular series has been recorded, and it would also be uploaded to the SDCOE website as well. So should you need to go back to, of course, to gather some more of the detailed information that was provided, you will absolutely have that opportunity available to you. Once again, thank you so much for joining us this evening. And I do want to wish everyone well, and please be safe out there with this crazy weather. All right, please enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.